In a distant time, during the late 18th dynasty in ancient Egypt, Princess Hatshepsut was born in the heart of the illustrious city of Thebes. Her father, Pharaoh Thutmose I, was a great king whose reign was marked by growth and prosperity. Hatshepsut grew up in the royal palace, receiving a high education, known for her intelligence and interest in sciences and arts. When Hatshepsut matured, she was married to Thutmose II, her stepbrother, who later became pharaoh after the death of Thutmose I. Hatshepsut fully understood that her role as a queen would not be merely ceremonial, but she would be an active partner in governing the kingdom. She held the title of Great Royal Wife and began to participate in the affairs of governance alongside her husband. Despite Thutmose II being the king, Hatshepsut played a prominent role in directing the internal and external affairs of Egypt. Thutmose II passed away shortly after his reign, leaving a young son from one of his wives, named Thutmose III. The child was in his infancy, making Hatshepsut eligible to assume the regency. Instead of stepping back, Hatshepsut decided to take the throne herself. After political debates and disputes, Hatshepsut began her actual reign, which lasted about 22 years. The beginning of her rule was a critical phase, facing political challenges and hostile armies. Hatshepsut used her wisdom and governance to unify the kingdom and enhance stability. She ordered the reconstruction of temples and cities, demonstrating astuteness in administration and planning. Among Hatshepsut's significant achievements was the construction of the mortuary temple of Hatshepsut, located on the west bank of the Nile near the city of Luxor. The temple was designed with a magnificent facade and massive columns, considered one of the greatest temples in Egyptian history. The inscriptions adorning the temple walls narrated her commercial expeditions to the land of Punt, believed to be in East Africa. Hatshepsut succeeded in establishing strong trade relations with Punt, sending trade missions to this mysterious land, bringing back large quantities of myrrh, incense, and gold. These trade missions not only boosted the Egyptian economy, but also contributed to cultural and scientific exchanges. Under Hatshepsut's rule, achievements extended beyond construction and trade to include smart diplomatic strategies. She utilized her negotiation skills with neighboring countries to ensure border security and kingdom stability. She also worked on strengthening relations with the priests, who held significant influence at that time. Hatshepsut also showed a special interest in scholars and artists, supporting the development of arts and sciences in Egypt. She encouraged the building of libraries and schools, organizing cultural festivals that enhanced Egypt's status in the world. As years passed, Hatshepsut faced pressures from within and outside the palace. Despite the stability of her rule and her great accomplishments, some nobles and priests began to doubt her ability to govern the kingdom. The pressures continued to escalate, leading to an opposition movement against her. After Hatshepsut's death, her successors, including Thutmose III, sought to erase the traces of her rule and remove her name from records. Attempts were made to destroy the inscriptions and sculptures mentioning her name, but her efforts were not entirely erased. Scholars continued to discover the remnants of her rule and appreciate her achievements. Today, Queen Hatshepsut's legacy is considered one of the greatest stories in ancient Egyptian history. She succeeded in overcoming many obstacles and challenges, demonstrating remarkable leadership abilities in a turbulent period.